Hey guys, welcome back to CheatSheetPros.com. Today is Wednesday, February 16th, 2022, and we're going to take a look at our player props and prize picks for the day. As I promised yesterday, I spent a lot of my time this morning digging through stats and projections, and I've got about 7 or 8 really good plays on prize picks that I like tonight. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to go through and show you some of these hot players that show up on our sheet as I usually do in my other videos. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll try to keep this short, sweet, and to the point. The first player that I really like is Seth Curry, over 16 points. In his debut with Brooklyn, he had a massive game. He went for 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. He also led the team in scoring and led the team in field goal attempts. So for the main shooter tonight for Brooklyn to go over 16 points, I don't think that is unreasonable at all. And then if he happens not to go over, the other play that I like is Bruce Brown. I was shocked to see his prop was only 8.5 points. In that last game where they were missing all the big studs, he had 19 points and then even 11 the game prior. So I don't think Prize Picks is really caught up to the usage and the amount of field goal attempts that he's going to take. In that last game, without all the big studs, he was tied for second in scoring and field goal attempts with LaMarcus Aldridge with the 19 points. So I like both of them to go over tonight. On my main card, I only took Seth Curry because I don't like to put too many eggs in one basket. On leg number 2, Gary Trent. So Fred VanVleet is questionable. He missed shoot around, so it does not look good for him. We like him to go over 20.5 points, but you have to wait until the news breaks that VanVleet is out before you lock this in, because Toronto is made up of Pascal Siakam and VanVleet. So if VanVleet is in, I do not like the Gary Trent to go over. If he is out, then he's almost a no-brainer to go over him or Pascal Siakam. In the last 2 games with VanVleet, he's only got 6 and 11 points, but the game VanVleet missed, he dropped a 42-pointer, and VanVleet went for 30 in that, or Pascal Siakam went for 30 in that game, so we like that as well. So if VanVleet is out, take Gary Trent Jr. over 20.5 points, and then any over with Pascal Siakam is going to look good. Siakam is heavily used. He's always in there, and without VanVleet on the floor, I didn't go look up his usage, but he's good for points, rebounds, and PRA going over. For leg number 3, one that's a little bit sneaky, I was looking at Donovan Mitchell because he's in a good spot tonight, but his points prop is 25.5, so that seems really high. Now, he does get over it quite a bit, and I don't mind him to go over that, but the one that really jumped out at me was his rebounds of 4.5. So he's been over this in 4 straight games, so he's got a 4-0 overrun, and earlier against the Lakers this year, he had 8. So he was over that as well. He's got 6, 7, 10, and 7 over the last 4 games. So 4.5 just jumps out as a low number to me. So that's what I like for leg number 3. Looking at leg number 4, Josh Giddey. I was looking through the Oklahoma City players, and it's pretty balanced, but the one that really jumped out was the Giddey rebounds over 8. So he's on a 4-1 overrun, as you can see here. He's averaging 10 per game over the last 5. With 11, 12, 7, 9, and 11. So I assume this line would probably be 9 or 9.5. So when I saw 8, I was kind of excited because 8.5, we know the hook will get us, but 8 gives us a push. So really, like if he has 7, and that was against Philadelphia, which is a ridiculously tough matchup, he still had 7, and that's the only one that we would lose with. So for leg number 4, I like Josh Giddey over 8 rebounds. Excuse me. And the Spurs are also 28th in rebounds allowed to opponents, so they are not real good at rebounding or the inside. We pulled that from the BMDVP on our cheat sheet. And then the next leg that I like is Chris Paul assists. Now, I typically don't attack him with a number like 11.5. Now, last night I was sitting there and the Embiid, Taco Tuesday on Prize Picks wasn't going to hit because they were getting blown out, so they pretty much benched him. And then they popped up another one and said, hey, we're going to do Chris Paul assist, another Taco Tuesday play, 9.5. So I jumped all over that one. As you can see, he ended with 14, so that was a no-brainer. So you have to pay attention to those. But he's over this number in each of the last 4 games with 14, 15, 19, and 12. I like him to go over, and he is going up against a team that is giving up the 26th most assists. So with that DVP, I expect him to continue on with his streak. Now, if you don't want to go Chris Paul, but you do want someone for Phoenix, I like Mikal Bridges over 14.5 points. He's been over this number in 4 of the last 5 games. The one game that he did miss, he had 14, so he only missed it by a hook. The reason I like this is on our BMDVP sheet, Phoenix has a really good spot for points in the paint. The team they're playing gives up the 29th most points in the paint. So originally I looked at DeAndre Ayton, but he just hasn't been doing really well. But Mikal Bridges, another big man on the inside who can score a lot in the paint, he's been over this in 4 or 5, so he's someone that jumped out for me that I'd like to take a look at. And then going down, the next leg that I like, and this is another favorite play, is Buddy Hield over 17.5 points. Another guy who's a pure shooter, and he's coming off of a game of 36 points. So Indy is basically Buddy Hield and then Tyrese Halliburton. One of those two is going to go over. I'm just siding with Buddy Hield right now. In the 3 games with Indy, he had 36 last time out and then 13 and 16. So he's consistently shooting the ball and he's starting to get hot. And what I really like is over these 3 games with Indy, he's had 20, 19, and 17 field goal attempts. So he's not afraid to shoot the ball. So I am going to go over 17.5 points against Washington tonight. And those are my favorite plays. Now, if you want to stick around, I'm going to go ahead and show you some hot plays that showed up on the cheat sheet as we do in our other videos. And these are the players that we're going to take a look at right here. And I'm going to run through them real quick. So Steven Adams, we had him on a card last night, and he absolutely crushed it. His points prop was only 6.5, and they bumped it up to 8. So he's getting a little bit better. He's over this in 5 straight. He's averaging 13.2 points per game over the last 5. You can see 14, 15, and 16 the last 3, and his number is 8. That just seems like a slap in the face, easy play to me. Anfernee Simons, He's someone that kind of jumps out when I was taking a look at him, and his was the points prop, I believe. Yeah, 21.5. So he's been over in each of the last 3 games with 31, 30, and 29 points. So we like him to go over against Memphis in a somewhat high-scoring game. We know Memphis can score a lot of points, and for Portland to stay in this game or have a chance, they're going to have to put a lot of points on the board. So he pops as someone that could slide over his prop pretty easy. Seth Curry, we had talked about. He was one of our favorite plays that popped. The other one is Julius Randle. I think we have 3 days in a row now. We've had his over on the points prop, and they've all hit. He's averaging 28.8 points over the last 5 games with 30, 28, 28, 28, and 30 points. And again, they're bumping it up a little bit more. We're up to 23.5. But again, against Brooklyn, we like him to go over that number. And then if you don't want to go points, if you're worried about him going up against Drummond or some of these other big plays, I do like his points, rebounds, assists to go over because he's scoring a lot of points and he's picking up a lot of rebounds, and Brooklyn has struggled with allowing other teams to rebound. So over 40.5 is another play. DeMar DeRozan, there's no Zach LaVine tonight, I believe, so his points prop is 32.5, which seems astronomical, but he's actually averaging 37.4 over the last 5 games. He has 40, 38, 35, 36, and 32, so he's on a 5-0 overrun, and there's no LaVine, so I like that to go over as well. And then sliding down, Tyrese Halliburton, we had talked about him, and Kevin Porter was the last guy that I would give some consideration to, and they must have pulled him down. I had a prop up on him, and it went down, so anyway, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. So those are my favorite plays. Good luck, guys.